Alright lads, welcome back to the channel. This is Joshua J Poker and it's your boy Joshua J, and on this channel we are looking to move up through the cash game streets, go as high as we can and turn poker into a real revenue stream. In this video we've got some highlights from a stream I did yesterday where I analysed my results from December to January. We also look a little bit at November as well. And there's some pretty interesting patterns that come up. It also shows you a little bit more about how I study the game, how I analyse my play, and how I hold myself accountable to play the best I can. And it's always good to go back through and look through your databases in this fashion. So it can be a little bit brutal to look back through some of these. Some people on stream said the way I approached this was a little bit biased and a little bit hard on myself. But I think if you want to become the best that you can be and really move up for the stakes, this is kind of like the approach you have to take. So I hope you find value here. It's a slightly longer video than normal, but there's a lot of nuggets in there and there's some pretty cool patterns that we pick up. And I know that February is going to be an even better month because we did this. So I really hope you enjoy this. I hope you take a lot from it. And if you do enjoy this type of content and you find value here, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps support myself and the channel. And yeah, without further ado, enjoy the content and let's begin. Alrighty then, let's do some analysis because it's very interesting what we're about to find out here, I think. And we're going to start off with December, which was officially my worst poker month ever, which is pretty interesting. It was 1 month after, well, it was the first month after not doing the academy. So the first GPA academy was November. My November results were good. And then December just came and hit me like a sledgehammer. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more. And then we're going to make a comparison between December and January to show how the changes I've made have made an impact on my win rate, and then go from there. So we're going to open up with our December graph, which isn't very pretty, let's be honest. You know, I didn't share this at the end of December because I was a little bit embarrassed, I guess. You know, when you stream poker and you show people what you're doing and you're also running an academy and all of these other things where I think having good results matters. When you don't have good results, it's easy to hide from those things and get a little bit embarrassed about them. So I didn't share them at the end of December, but I want to share them now because there's a lot to learn from this and like what I've been through in the transition that I've made and how I'm approaching the game a little bit more. So yeah, don't be afraid to share your results because it's the only way you can really learn. So in December, we played 52,000 hands and we lost minus 1,249. Hello, chat. How are you all doing? Let me see if I can make this the right size so it doesn't look stupid on recording. So these results from, I'll show you the actual results. And also you have to bear in mind here that this is GG Poker. So when you import into Poker Tracker, these aren't actually the pure results. I have those on another document that I'll bring up in a minute because this doesn't include any rake. So this is without rake taken off, but at the same token, it doesn't have rake back added on. It doesn't have any of the bonuses or leaderboards or all of the other ways you can make money back from GG. So what I do is I keep track of my results in terms of the bankroll. I record it before each session, or it's actually week by week I do it. So I know the actual results, so I can show you those as well. So the actual results for December, I'll just bring this up and copy this in because it makes it a little bit easier for you guys to see. And I'm going to put this in. Just let me know if you can see this okay, but it looks to be how do you make this bigger on can you make the text bigger on this? Oh yeah, here. So like maybe like 26 will be good for you guys to see. Yeah, that looks good. So this is December. You can update Poker Tracker and let the rake show 1-to-1. How do you do that? How? Let me know how you do that. That's sick. So this is December, obviously not the cleanest month. And it works out that we were losing, let's just put these numbers in here, 73.5 divided by, oh, wait. 567 divided by 73.5. So we were losing at -7. Where's the dollar? -7 US an hour, which is pretty much worse than slave labor, obviously. Okay, that's cool. I'll try that. I've tried it, but it doesn't seem to work for me. but maybe I'm stupid. So we were losing at -$7 an hour, which isn't great. And it's important to note here that before I started December, I thought, after doing GPA in November and playing well and running well and winning in November, we were up like 650 US in November. And remember, I'm a low volume player. I don't play a lot. But in December, I thought, right, I'm just going to up my volume, I'm going to up my tables, I'm going to stream more, I'm going to play more. And that's why this 52,000 hands in December is a lot of hands for me. That's not like my normal amount. And that's the first interesting point is here, I increased volume. I increased table count. And I decreased routine in a sense of like, because I was up in volume, I was just trying to play as much as I could when I could. That was kind of like, I wanted to hit more. I set myself a target of hitting 50k hands in December, so I did get that. But I wasn't playing to a set schedule. I was kind of just playing like in the evening, whenever, in the morning, whenever it made sense. I wasn't doing much business because December's quiet for that. And I also didn't really have any focus on performance. And this is a pretty crazy part for me because I am a performance coach for poker players, but you spend a lot of your life giving advice to other people as a coach and helping them through their own issues that you kind of don't always take your own advice, which is definitely something I'm culpable of. Is that the word I'm looking for? Which is interesting. So I didn't really focus on my own performance. I was kind of like just turning up, implementing, and this is what happened. I was also shot taking 50 and L. So if you look at the actual statistics here, we beat 25 and L Zoom over a pretty reasonable sample here, 17k hands for 3 big blinds. That's not too bad. To be fair, these are the samples. It's pretty weird how we've played almost the exact same amount of 10 and L. Why did we play 5,000 hands of 10 and L in December? I don't remember doing that. That's crazy. I lost 30 stacks. I don't even know why we were doing that. That's mad. And then we were shot taking at 50 Zoom, and we lost 777, which is like, what, 15 buy-ins, which is also pretty crazy to me. I don't think we were losing that much. And I didn't really look at my results much in-game. So I'm just going to break this down a little bit more because there's some interesting stuff to see here. So this is kind of like how I study my results as well. And I'll show you guys kind of how I do this because it's, I suppose, pretty interesting. So what I'm going to do here is just put this on 200 and let's just say 600 big blinds. And I'm just going to filter through these hands, and I'm going to label hands that are, in my opinion, a punt. And then we're going to total up how much money that is lost. So we'll just say replay. We'll just replay these because a lot of them are going to be normal. So we'll keep a running tally in our heads if anybody wants to do this in chat as well. But we'll rate these as punts and normal, and then we'll add up how much they are. We can do it over here too. So it seems perfect. I'd probably like a barrel here, but check call seems okay too. This is fine. It's a little bit blasty. I don't really think this is super necessary either. And I'm going to get called by like tens and jacks and all of his middling pairs that probably don't fold here. Yeah, queens. This isn't like a super punt, but we're still going to put it as probably not necessary. And we're a little bit deeper here as well. So we're just going to keep it. We'll bring the calculator up here. It's probably actually easy to keep this. So in terms of dollar amounts, we'll label this as like flop is perfect. We should probably just call this 20 bigs here. So 40 big blinds. So that's a $20 punt. So there's one, $20. This is fine. Can definitely check here. Can definitely bet. I like it. Just call. And probably fold this river when he just rips it. This is an ambitious call at best. We're hoping that he turns ace-queen or ace-10 of clubs into a bluff, which not enough people do. And when he flats out the small blind, he definitely has king-jack suited, and he definitely has pocket fours. This is a punt. Yep. All right. Well, there's $64. In fact, we won't call it 64 because it's the pre-flop is fine, so it's actually 56. So I'm just trying to show you like how much money you can save by not punting, and it's good to be pretty hard on yourself in these spots. This is okay to call sometimes. This is going to be an extremely strong range, though. Have to be pretty careful here. Call. Yeah, what am I doing? This is ridiculously stupid. He's just going to put aces in my face here, and we have to call. This is gross. What am I doing, Josh? Yeah. Not shocked. Not shocked to see aces. So this is... We should just call the 14 here. So, and pre-flop is kind of... We're gonna call this a... I just realized this is, 56. So we're going to call this 27 big blinds plus that. Okay, 30, 54. So we'll call this a $35 punt. At least $35. Call seems fine. Seems fine. Seems fine. Fold river. Don't you dare call, Josh, you fucking psychopath. Oh my god, dude. This is a punt. $35. Gone. That's right, isn't it? 70 bigs as a punt. Yeah, 70 bigs is $35. Flop seems fine. Good check raise. Barrel. Yeah, you just have to put this in. This is pretty standard. Yeah, that's fine. Not punting. Can definitely do a mixture of things. Bet calling here seems fine. He's going to show up with no, I'm not discounting the equity, no, because I'm classifying the punts as like decisions that I wouldn't do again. So it's not just results orientated. It's I wouldn't do those things again regardless of the equity that I had. They're just pure punts that are mistakes regardless of the equity you have. It's like this, like this is probably okay to call, but I wouldn't expect there's going to be many villains doing this as a bluff, really. So this is borderline. To the turn, it's fine. Checking turn seems okay. This isn't the worst. We're still going to call it a bit of a punt, but yeah, you're just not going to see many turn raises as a bluff here. He can definitely have like queens, ace queen, ace 10 suited. He can have all the combinations of king jack suited, and we don't block either of those in diamonds or clubs. So it's not the worst. It's not like an absolute mega punt like the one before last. So we'll call this 1970 big blinds. Yeah, we'll call this like another $35 punt. That seems about right. Oh no, wait, it can't be, can it? 30. So I'll add 30 onto that. Queen jack. This seems fine. C-bet. Okay, probably just going to be leaning towards a fold here, to be honest. There's quite kind of a lot of bad shit that can happen on turn. I don't hate a call here, but I would also like to see a fold occasionally. And now with fact, because we have to call here. Nah, this is ridiculous, Josh. What are you doing? This achieves nothing. I can't think of any logic I'm using here. And we're just going to get this in versus the nut part of his range and think it's a caller, and it's not. Yeah, this is a super blast. This should be... Flop is kind of fine. I don't really think you need to always call here versus this size, especially on a paired board where some of your outs are going to be dirty, as you see exactly happens. Even though it doesn't have that many combinations of boats, what can happen is, say he check raises a hand like nines here with no spade, and then it comes the nine of spades, we're going to lose infinitely more. So I think this is a blast. Let's rate it. We'll say it's okay to here. And then from here on, it's just a fucking absolute disaster. So what is this guy? 80 big blinds. That's $40, isn't it? $40. Yep, I agree with that game theory. It's a huge punt, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that PD Jack, yeah. So basically what I'm doing is going through my database here, and like some of this stuff is super standard, but then the times where I'm like flicking it in, like this is probably a fold out of position versus a 4-bet range. This is very, very loose and a very, very ambitious. King Queen suited here is on the edge. Queen Jack suited versus what, 2.5? Well, 14 more. It seems pretty ambitious. Call. Oh, this is, I don't know what the fuck. This is why I lost $1,200 in December. But this is good to look at because this is just ridiculous because I have to put this in, and then we're lying to ourselves if we think we're even close to the equity we need, because he's going to have a lot of ace-king here at worst that blocks some of our outs, and he's going to have aces that we're just fucking deado against. Yeah, this is fucking ridiculous. Josh, what are you doing? Right, we're going to call this. We'll change this from this, and we'll take off the. We won't call the 14 big blinds a punt. We'll call it a 7 big blind punt because that's probably more accurate as to the frequency you should be calling. So 84 is the effective stack, divided by 2 is 42. Yeah, I agree with that game theory. Hello, Edwin Stuff. How you doing? So there we go. Standarino. Not much to say there, but do you already see how much money we're punting here? It's fucking wild, dude. Yeah, bet. Get raised, rip it in. If you have set, GL. Yep, standard. Defense seems good. Raise seems good. Cry in your sleep seems good here. This is an absolutely tragic spot to get 3-bet in these player pools. This is so tight when he uses 3/4. I like the raise. I think the raise is good. But when he puts this in, this is terrible. And if we're going to continue, I like shove here. Yeah, call-in's a little bit punty. And this guy's going to have a set like 100% of the time here. I haven't seen any of these hands. This guy just has pure pocket sixes here. Yep. Who's surprised? No, that's the exact reason to raise the ace-10 with no backdoors, because our hand can't improve. But yeah, this isn't like the worst thing I've ever seen. It's just like versus player pool tendencies. This range is going to be so strong that you can probably exploit fold this a lot, to be honest, and never ever be punished for it. So we'll say the 27, and then on this turn we're going dead. But I still don't think this is super necessary. So we're going to discount the punt a little bit and say, so before we bet, what's the effective here? 96. So we're going to call this like a $20 punt seems reasonable here. I think we could save money. Bet. Again, this is a fold. This is a fold like... this is going to be a fold a lot. No one is ever bluffing in this spot. Nobody ever turns queen 10 into a bluff. Very rarely 5-6, and not many people overvalue a jack enough for this to be a call enough of the time, in my opinion, in these games. And we have the king of spades, which is terrible. So this is what, 53 so far. This guy's just going to have a set and 2 pair like every time. Yeah, it's just never not that. So I would fold here again if I could play it again, especially with the king of spades. Without the king of spades, maybe more so, but still, it's a fucking ambitious call. And I'm not being results orientated. I just know that standard queens bet. This is sight. This is the problem with c-bet and flop, but it seems fine to fold here. This guy's just going to have a heap of like sets. Yeah, this is a punt. This is a punt, Josh. A huge punt. This guy's going to have fucking sets and 7-8 a lot. Yeah. No one in the world is surprised here. So the c-bet's fine. You don't have to see the bet this every time, but I do because people way overfold. So what's this? 86 big blind punt. What's that? 42, 40, $42. Is that right? Yeah, seems about right. Standard. I mean, a lot of these are just not standard. This is also going to be aces. I didn't even see this, but this guy min clicking is going to be aces like nearly every time, to be honest. And we try not to go broke, I guess, and we just put it in. Yeah, this guy has aces every time. Yeah, there's nothing you can do, but it is just aces every time. So maybe you can just make the exploit fold. We're going to add like maybe $5 on for that last one because there's definitely some time we can get away from that. Wait, what happened here? We 3-bet c-bet. Getting min clicked on turn again. We're infinitely deep here as well. I like a fold here a lot. You can't fold kings in the last hand, no, but I think you can fold kings here. This guy's going to have he's very rarely going to min click his worst pairs. And now this is fucking ambitious. Ugh, this is so puke. I think I like check on turn if I played this again. I don't think this is a huge punt because he for sure can min click his hands with showdown value like 9s and 10s that's trying to protect versus kings. But I don't know, man. It's a weird line, and we're also really deep out of position with another street to come. So I don't like raise here. I think this is the turn's the interesting spot here. As to whether it's a punt, I think we should just be check, call, and turn a lot out of position and give him a chance to bluff with hands like pocket eights and then reassess river. As played, the river block doesn't achieve much except for like if we think he's capable of calling with queens and jacks, which is possible but unlikely. And then obviously when he rips it in our face, we're not calling here. This is weird. I don't know how to give a fair evaluation to this. It does seem like a mistake, though. I think we should let's just do it as if we check, call, turn, and call the 29, and then probably be check, fold, and river. So that's 50 big blinds, and we end up losing how many? 100 big blinds, so it's a 50 big blind punt. Ace, king, flat seems good, raise seems good, or call, both are up fine. Probably have to raise this turn. Yeah, and then he shoves, and we're in a pretty tricky spot. Yeah, I mean, I quite like raise folding this turn versus these dudes. I don't think you're ever going to get anywhere close to a problem with doing this because he's still going to call with, like, his draws. The only hand he probably shoves here is Jack 10 of diamonds that we beat, and he has infinite equity. So we call, and it wouldn't surprise me. This guy has 2 pair plus every time. Yep. There's definitely a mistake in here. Flop seems fine. We can also raise flop. That's an option, but calling seems fine. Turn when he bets big. I like raise it. I don't know. It's just weird. Probably should just check this. We'll review this because I'm not sure what the best thing to do is here. I'll ask Ginge about this one. But for now, it does seem like a punt, especially when he shoves. I can't imagine he's going to be shoving much worse. But he does also shove ace king. We'll leave this one blank. We're not going to add this one on. It seems neither here nor there. Call seems fine. Call seems fine. We're probably just getting fucking cooled here. This is so puke, isn't it? This is such a ridiculous spot. With 30 back. Do you want me to make this a bit bigger for you guys, by the way? I don't know. With 30 back here, it's it seems ridiculous, to be honest. It's very difficult for him to call with us except for king, queen. And he does have queens and kings in his range here, so I guess we can save the 30 big blinds. Yeah, I think we should save 30 big blinds here when he gives us a chance to get away from it. So what's that, 17.5? It's a ridiculous spot, though, obviously. Absolutely damn right ridiculous. Seems fine. Check raise seems good. Barrel seems good. Oh, I remember this hand. Absolutely Robbie Savage, this hand. It's pretty funny, though, because you know that no one's bluffing, so you're calling here to pray for a chop. You are calling to pray for a chop, but obviously this guy just whips the 8-6 of hearts in our face and just fucking wanks us off. Nice. Probably can lean towards exploit folding this too. I know it's crazy, but like when we called 4-bet and this guy 5-bet jams, it's at worst ace king. I don't hate this. It's not the worst, but it wouldn't surprise me if this guy just has pure kings. Yeah. Again, like, it's whatever in the micro stakes, you know. Like, there's not... This is 25 and L as well, so there really isn't much happening here unless you know that the guy's a whale. Like, folding queens here is absolutely okay, in my opinion. This is 25 and L, yeah. So I'm going to, like, add on... Oh, shit, yeah. So we probably need to make up a little bit, change these numbers, but it's only going to be an average anyway. It's only our estimations. But yeah, this is ridiculous. This is, we're going to add on a $10 punt here for that because I think you should be good enough to get away from this at this stage, Josh. But yeah, that happened. Kings. Double block seems fine. River check call seems ambitious. But I guess he can shove ace queen occasionally. This seems okay. Especially when we don't have a diamond. Ambitious. But Yeah, doesn't surprise me. I think the queens is a punt, dude. Unless you have a read, and I probably didn't have a read there. This seems fine. Ambitious, Josh. This is a punt. This river call's a huge punt, I think. Let me just see. So we 3-bet block, bet big seems good. River seems like a check fold because a lot of his 2 pairs improve as well, and we're still got stacked behind. SPR of 1. And he uses 3/4, which is ridiculous. I mean, occasionally he'll do this with yeah, 80s design. I'll have to minus some money. Maybe I'll minus like 31 here, and that will equate for the differences between 50 and 25. My bad. This is a very, very ambitious river call versus most dudes at these stakes. Like, they're not really good enough to value bet 1 pair hands here. Like, that just doesn't really, that's not really a thing. We also block the tits out of ace king, which is going to be his main river 1 pair bet. And he still has flushes here. We don't block a flush. He can have a weirdo play jacks. He can have king jack suited. He can still have sets, and he can still have flushes. So this is just an extremely ambitious river call. Yep. So what's 63 divided by 4 is like 16. 16 seems fine. What 2 pair does he ever have? Here, king jack suited. For sure. King jack of diamonds, king jack of spades. He has both of those. Again, it's not so much yeah, but if he can definitely call flop with king jack suited. We make it like, I think we bet a quarter here, so he's going to float super wide here and try and, again, it is what it is. Like, you can figure out how many combinations and you can approach it that way, or you can see it through the lens of like, what's he value betting here, you know? Why can't he peel king jack of diamonds occasionally here when we bet a quarter? It's not unreasonable. It's not the end of the world. But again, like, versus this size, I just think we're going to be dead a lot. So he has no 2 pair. He definitely has king jack of spades, which is a flush, obviously. I do see what you mean, though. No, I don't think it biases my analysis at all. It's just a case of, it doesn't really matter. Like, I think I'm being pretty objective here. This is ridiculous. I mean, I guess you can lean towards a fold here versus the whales. I'd hate to see me shove this. That'd be fucking ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This guy obviously just doesn't care. He's playing 72-48. He has like fucking loads of random hands here, and I don't think he's putting it in with king jack that often. Yeah. I mean, do you see how easy these guys make poker for you? Like, this guy just donk leads, and we can just fold ace king. We don't have to punt 80 big blinds in. I'm just going to make the maths easy and call that 20, because this is only rough anyway. He should be flatting ace king suited first to 3-bet some of the time, yeah. This is probably going to be the last one, isn't it? I think we've got a pretty good summary bet, yeah. Well, this is very rarely going to be this is very rarely going to be anything but a boat, to be honest. Like, occasionally he'll donk lead his worst flushes, and that's why you can probably find a caller with the exact nut flush. I wouldn't call the king high flush here very often, but I wouldn't be surprised to just get shown pocket 5s here a lot. Or 9s, yeah. So it's not the worst call I've ever seen, but it's still versus dudes that don't bluff enough. This is probably whatever. Yeah, but if you think about it, GNU master, it's like, it's better to be harder on yourself in these analyses than just be like, oh, well, it's like, and you can justify absolutely anything in poker. So you can justify, you know, all of this stuff with, like, you can run the sims and the maths and all that, but it doesn't really matter if that guy isn't playing anywhere close to whatever strategy you think he should be playing. And I can tell you that this guy's never bluffing here. This guy never donk leads as a bluff. And if he does, it's very, very rare. So if he never donk leads as a bluff, what does he donk lead with? You know, yeah, I agree with that, Scott. Yeah, I agree. This is a fast table. Like, this guy isn't donk shoving with a bluff. It just isn't going to be a thing. So you've got to ask the question: how often does he donk shove his spade, his flushes that are worse than mine? And maybe sometimes does he do it like anywhere close to the amount that we need here? Probably not. And like, this is just no surprise to me at all. So it's a punt. And it's not being results. So it's still not like a mega punt. This isn't a mega punt. And like, but for this price, we need him to be donk shoving 34% of the time worse for us to make this call. I don't think that's happening. So, right. Yeah, I agree. Exactly, Baxter. Think about that. Baxter has just made the fucking absolute nut point here. In all of these hands, in all of these biggest losing hands, we haven't been shown a bluff or a semi-bluff ever that got there. They were always just nutted hands that we just had us beat and gave us opportunities to fold. So think about that. Think about why that's way more important than just justifying it to yourself in a sense of like, oh, we can have this, and yeah, we can have it like this a little bit, and like, oh, maybe you can have this part of his range, and it's like, yeah, but be objective and look, in this whole sample over a month, nobody ever had it. Everybody had it. Nobody ever had the semi bluff. So we'll call that a day there. We could probably just keep going through these. How many more did we have to go through? Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot. I'm not going through all of those, but just for right now, like, we can call this $436 roughly, and there's probably going to be more. I'd probably add this up. Like, you could round this up easily to like at least $500 worth of punts. At least, like, there's probably going to be more in there. There's going to be different spots, but those are just the ones we can see. So just in this alone, $436 is crazy. That's a crazy amount of money to be fucking blasting off, and that's not even all of them. So that's the first thing I tend to look at when I'm doing these analyses, is that. And then, I mean, this graph in itself just shows a lot of. Should we just have a look at November and see what November was like? Because I feel like I played much better in November. So this is November. So this is November's graph, which is fucking way more solid. And yeah, I mean, there's obviously going to be variance in this too, but like, just look at the difference in this. Look at like, and you can already start to see this happen because the red line, blue line doesn't really matter a lot. But if you look here, they're kind of static. And then all of a sudden, what's happening here? Why is this all of a sudden going down? Why is my graph all of a sudden going down? And then that leads to, let's just roll this on to December the 31st. And you can kind of see that this pattern just never stops. So yes, and I was saying on stream that this is kind of a downswing I'm in. But why did my red line all of a sudden start to just go down? You know, why was that? And it's going to be really interesting for you to see this in just a minute when I compare it to January's results. But this is a volume thing for me. I remember this is at this point here, probably actually here, like about there is when GPA, the first academy, stopped, and I kind of went away and started doing my own thing. And I started streaming more, and I was playing more volume. So this is just more volume, playing more tables, as I put here, not having a routine, not really focused on my performance, just kind of like looking at these results and being like, oh, I'm a crusher. Oh my God, this is just easy. Like, poker's solved. I've done GPA. I've completed poker. Like, I don't need to study or practice or anything. I've completed it, mate. And that's kind of what happened. And then that has kind of dragged us into December, which is you see in like no performance, no routine, none of this stuff that I give to my clients to be like, look, if you don't do this, you're not going to win. But as I said right at the start, it's easy to not do that, and you give that advice to yourself. So that's kind of December. And then there's other stuff we could look at. We could do deeper stat dive as well. But I'm not going to do it on this stream. Maybe I'll do it on a different one. Because I just want to keep this simple and compare punts and performance, because they're the two easiest things to monitor in my win rate. So now let's look at this month. And there's a very interesting pattern that you're about to see is this. So this is my graph for this month. So what does this part very much remind you of? Like, what does this look like in a shortened sample where we're winning at 950, about that $1,000 region, with a pretty strong red line, you know, like playing pretty good. And then all of a sudden, the last part of the month, what's happened here? What does this look exactly like? You know, the exact same thing has happened where this is me increasing my volume, and this is me playing 6 regular tables, as opposed to this is just playing 2 tables of Zoom. So I'm actually playing in harder games here. Like the Zoom tables are for sure harder on GG, but I'm now playing 6 tables, which clearly is affecting my performance, and my red line is dipped and I'm losing, and I'm not playing my best again, which is very interesting. So I'm just going to bring up the numbers for December to add some context to this, because again, this graph is fucking all over the shop. It says here that we're up $192.75, but in actual reality, this is Jan. We've played 57 hours. Net income after all the rake back and all of the things is 857, which I'm pretty happy with. It gives me an hourly of like, what does that give an hourly of? 857 divided by 57. $15 an hour, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest, considering we've been shot taken and we're still very average at this game and looking to improve. And I think that's a pretty good solid win rate anyway. But if we look at statistics, we've turned this around, and the top thing is going to be very interesting. But we're starting to beat 50 now, like pretty comfortably, over 16k hand sample, 5.2 big blinds, pretty good on GG. Obviously, the rake is going to impact that a lot, both ways. And then a short sample at 100 Zoom, but we've won 2.5 buy-ins. But then the 100 regular tables, we're down 6 buy-ins, which is very, very interesting. And it's just interesting to me how many, how it's changed, how my graph has changed. But what is also still very interesting to me, and I've already done this analysis with, I should have saved this as a pre-fill, shouldn't I? I've already done this analysis with Ginge, so I can tell you for a fact that what you're about to see is for sure. Wait, where's that? Hand details. Where's pot size? Yeah. I can already tell you that you're going to see a lot of punts right now, and these are straight from source. So there's still going to be a lot of money that we could have saved, especially at 100 NL. So let's have a look at these. Let's firstly look at these ones, because these are the biggest pots we've played this month, and we'll get the calculator back open, because we like the calculator because our brain is little. So this hand was without a doubt the most tilted I've been all month. This was the back end of Friday session, if anybody watched that live on stream. This is a reg that we were playing against that was just running so pure it was a joke. But here I'm talking about that, I realise that that's what probably holding me back. But we 3-bet this, it's fine. We don't always have to do it. We see bets fine. Can block turn. Can definitely check back. Realise some of our equity seems fine. And then we bet small. And then this guy rips it. And again, lads, are you ever getting shown a bluff here? Anywhere close to enough? Be honest with yourselves out there. Go back through your databases and filter check raise river bluffs and see if you're ever getting shown a bluff here. Because you can talk yourself into it. This is a pretty brutal one to have because we have the jacks, so we block jacks, and he probably only has queens and jacks, and then quads, and maybe a weirdo played pocket eights that calls the bet on flop, and then we check turn. So pocket eights is there a little bit, but this isn't going to be a board where he has a full house very often. But he also has the ace-high flushes, you know, and I didn't even think about that in game. I was just like, oh, I have flush. This guy's running too pure. He can't always have it, and I called. And who is shocked here? Anybody shocked? Anybody shocked here? Because I'm fucking not. So we're going to give this one, and this is now real money, where it just equates very easily. So this is a $75 punt. Aces. Oh, yeah, this is absolutely ridiculously tragic, this. So, again, oh, no, this isn't. I remember this hand. This guy's the super whale of the table. Like, honestly, on the GG tables, he's you get the mega whales. I remember this hand very well. He puts it in on turn, and we call, and the mega whale ends up having 8-9 off, which is obviously ridiculous, and I don't know what that guy has, but queen 9. So this isn't a punt. I remember this hand. But in general, here, when you get min clicked on flop and you have the ace of diamonds, you should be pretty scared. and it's not always going to be a raise, but I forgot that that guy was the super whale. This is a massive punt. This is against the same guy. It's just a huge punt. We should just be leading turn. And when this guy overbets and we have the ace of diamonds on a paired board, it's just absolutely ridiculous, the decision. I don't even know how I come to this decision. This is just a huge, huge, huge punt. Yeah, we don't even need to see that. And again, this is... So this is... having the jack is great and equilibrium doesn't hold it, but formation means... Yeah, but it doesn't matter about that, Dino. It's more about if the guy's ever check ripping as a bluff enough, and I don't think he is. I like this overbet, it's good. And I also like the logic I choose here because I overbet river because this guy's going to for sure have some stubborn king queens, some stubborn king jacks, queen 10, jack 10, 9, 10, all of those hands that will call this bet. But when he shoves, we should be saving $27 here. And I asked Ginge about this, and he was like, yeah, this is a massive pump for $27. No one's ever bluffing here, ever. They have zero fold equity, and they don't go mad. He's playing 16-13 over 61 hands. So it's a punt. And is anybody shocked, chat? Anybody shocked when he has king 10 exactly here? Because we weren't shocked on stream, and I'm still not shocked now. This is a punt. This is standard, I think. Yep. Seems fine to call here. He can definitely bluff shove. He can bluff shove with both draws, and he can definitely do this with ace king occasionally. So yeah, this is fine. He ends up having a set, which is fucking sucky ass. This is a punt as well. I thought this was really good on stream, but this is ridiculous. Looking back at this now, I don't know why I ever ripped this turn. I should just call here because we can just river a 9, and there's not really much we achieve by shoving other than folding out king, queen, king, jack of hearts, which is what I was thinking about in game, but it's flawed logic. I should just call here. So take off 18. So 63 bigs, $63 punt. Because we should be calling this. I know I'm going through these pretty quickly, but I don't think there's much need to. Oh yeah, this is ridiculous as well. This guy flats and then shoves, and it's very live play, but. I don't know. You could probably fold here. I'm not going to call this one a punt because this guy could be losing his mind, but and we have ace king go, so it's not the end of the world, but he obviously has kings. But really, like, when you actually see this back, it's like, is this guy really going to be doing this very wide? And the answer is probably not. So yeah, that's fact. Let's just have a look at these, see if there's anything to talk about. In fact, we should just do like this and just take, because this is in a month, and I just want you to see the difference between my win rate and my punt rate, and you'll see how you reduce the punt rate and surprisingly your win rate just goes up loads. I can definitely rip this pre. I remember this hand too. Seems fine with the jack of clubs. He has aces, rip. Fine. But you see how way more standard these losses are this month? Like, there's not really much to say here. These are just very obvious spots. The others from December were like, oh, back. Standard. Wait, what? Do we open? Yeah, we can definitely check raise. Seems fine. Yeah. It's sad getting min raised on turn, but maybe we can just flat and try and make a boat because it's very rare that this guy's going to be bluffing here, but he can still have jack 10 and he can still have jack 8 and 10-8. So, yeah, but he has the nuts. Seems fine. Fine. It's annoying though, isn't it? When you get shoved on. 135 effective UTG versus MP. It's not really the situation you want in your life because dun, 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 dun. It's very rarely going to not be aces, but fuck. This is interesting. Yeah, I don't know what you're going to do here. Maybe just call flop. Get it in on good turns. Yeah, because he's not going to put his club draws in now, I guess, or his like combo draws. Yeah, I don't know. I do remember Ginge saying that I should just call and get it in on turn, so it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. He had a set, by the way. Oh yeah, this guy just turns a set of aces. Sad. Standard. But do you see like how just obvious these spots are? Like there's just not really much happening here. They're just very normal variants of the game. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. I know I'm going through these quick, but let's see some well-played hands. You get the sentiment. All right, cool. So I've already gone through this, and like my punts in January are not as anywhere near as bad, except for on Friday. Except for on this is my graph from Friday. Where's select date? And it's just the thing I want to just mention about this Friday. So this is my graph on Friday, which is obviously pretty ridiculous. It's a standard like 5 buying downswing, but 4 of these out of the month are punts. So a lot of these big losses are punts, but more importantly, how my red line is just dived. And that's kind of like the pattern for me, is that as soon as I start to win like this, and this first part of the month up until we moved to regular tables, I was like really focused on my pre-game routine. I was making sure that I went into each session with an intention and like, I'm going to actually do this, I'm going to really focus on this and I'm going to play my best and nothing else matters. And then I didn't check my graph actually up until I started to shot take 100 an L, which was about here, this point, I think. And then we won, and then we started winning at 100 an L. So then I knew that I was winning for the month. And as soon as I knew I was winning, I was like, oh, well, all I have to do is just, play more volume and I'm just going to crush the games. And then this happened and my red live dives. So I know regular tables play slightly different. So the red line can be different things. It can be different factors. But I just wanted to double down on the fact that your performance really does matter. And things do really change when you start to change your intentions with the game and your warm-ups and your focus levels. So yeah. So there you have it, lads. We had a deep dive. We looked at December, we looked at January, we looked at November. We're saying those months in the wrong order, but that's okay. I hope you found value here. It is a slightly longer video than I said than normal, but if you like this longer form, if you like this approach to like how I study the game, all of those things, please let me know in the comments. If this has been valuable, please let me know. And if it has been valuable and you've taken something from this, please consider liking and subscribing. But I want to hear from you, like, is this the sort of content that you want on this channel? Was this useful? Please let me know in the comments, I know then what type of content to make for you to add as much value to this channel as we can. So without further ado, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day and we'll chat soon. Peace.